Hi all, my name's Hannah and I'm the C5 Nut. Well, got something a bit different today. Right, so a lot of you know I do quite a lot of electronics, especially on motorhomes. And the powers that be want me to try and teach my fellow colleagues on how to basically understand some of our motorhomes that we currently work on. Now, we are an Adria dealer. We also are a Sunliving. I want to say Sunlight, but that was my previous job. I used to work on Sunlight motorhomes, but so Sunliving Motorhomes is a sister company to Adria. So a lot of my fellow technicians struggle trying to get their heads around with the Sunliving and Adria wiring. So the powers that be let me sort of build a sort of testing platform just to help basically train our technicians on how to deal with the electrical system. So I found a piece of board and got all the sort of spare parts, old parts that we don't really mind sacrificing for this testing. So what I'm going to show you is what I've been working on for the last few days. I was in the workshop till about 11:30 last night, and it's about 8:30, 8:45 tonight. So I got it to roughly where I want it. So anyway, well, let's flip the camera around and I'll show you what it's all about. Okay guys, so this is the sort of test platform that I made with all the wiring. Now I went as far as I could possibly go regards to, well, there is no wiring for the toilet. It just piggybacks off the pump. So apart from that side of things, everything what you see in here is basically what's in the motorhome. Other than this, this is what sort of refers to what is it, the like the habitation side, so like the engine side. So just by flicking this on and off, that's like your ignition switch. I still got to finish it off. It's missing its crucial connectors and stuff, which hopefully should turn up tomorrow, and then I can actually mimic the engine running. So basically this is what's the cab side of things, down to the fuses, what sort of fuses there are. This is the main, what they call an electro block. It's normally fitted in the Sunliving vans. They do a metal version, which is the Adria's, but the principle's still the same. Now you can see by the colours of the wiring, there's quite a lot of different colours. Now all the colours that are in the motorhome is the same as what I've done here. So if it's a blue and red, there'll be a blue and red. If it's a purple, brown, black and red, I've basically mimic what's on the vans. Now along from this block, about 30 centimeters of cable. I know it's not 30 centimeters here, but normally where this block is, there is a junction box, which is this one here. Now it's not the same junction box what's in the motorhome, but it basically refers to that junction box. And then from here it then goes off. This is the buzz bar, the neutral bus bar. There is one of these next to the fuse box. Coming along down to the water pump, there's a wire that goes for the TV and the 12-volt sockets. Then you've got two sets of lighting circuits. So this is one circuit and this is the other circuit. You've got another circuit for the awning light. Now this particular cable here is for the water boiler. Obviously I don't have a water boiler to hand that I could just, but the principle is the same. It's the same coloured wiring for the water boiler. I had an old fridge box kicking around with the proper plug. Again, I'm still waiting for the plug to turn up tomorrow. which means I can then do the rest of the wiring. There is one more wire that I'm missing, which is a blue and white, and again, that should come along with the actual plug, so I will finish this hopefully tomorrow. This is the controller unit. It's all touchscreen. Well, not, it's, you just touch it slightly. There's no push buttons, as to say. Obviously there's no tank sensors, so I've modified the wiring so it mimics like water being in the tank. And also the same amount of wiring that goes to the leisure battery, including down to the fuses. You know, there's two fuses, there's a 40 and a 2 amp, and obviously the booster pack just mimics the leisure battery. So I've got the proper connections and stuff like that on there. So this is the sort of basic of a motorhome wiring. The control panel, which is these thin wires that goes from the box to the controller, that's also the same coloured wiring. And these two plugs here are for the tank sensors. So you've got the freshwater tank and the wastewater tank. Now these are set up to, like, I think the freshwater tank set to 3/4 and the waste is set to like half a tank. So these cables just mimic what's in the tank, but they're the same coloured wiring that goes into the board. Right, so let's switch it on. So you heard a click. Everything else is on. So it's just like these. That's, you can say one's like the kitchen, one's the bathroom, and then you say like you've got the toilet and say like the bedroom light. So you know they're all individual, like so. So if I switch them on, now if I was to pull one of these fuses out, one of those lights will go out. So that's that one. And if I pull the other fuse out, obviously it just shows that there isn't just one wire going to the lights, there is two sets. And again with the awning light, you know, this is an old awning light that we took off a motorhome. It's only half of it works, but to actually make the principle of an awning light, it's okay for what we're doing here. And again, that's on its own fuse, so even if I pull that fuse out, that awning light goes out, you know. So what can I say? So this button here deals with, it will tell you the voltage for the engine, and then it will tell you what's in the waste. So as you can see, there's no engine battery because it's not finished, so it's only showing me what's in the waste. But then if I hit the top button, that will show me the leisure battery and how much water is in the fresh water tank. So as you see, that's only halfway. Now to turn that pump on, all I've got to do is push that button. So the whole system is working. Again, an old pump is been kicking around the workshop. I wouldn't put this in anyone's motorhome, but purely just for testing purposes, it's brilliant. This is what we need. So yeah, and obviously, well, let's plug it into the mains. This little light here will tell you if it's plugged into mains or not. So I'll just plug that in, and now it's lit up to say that it's plugged into mains. Now when we go to the top, it's saying it's charging, and then you hit the button, but hang on a minute, it's showing a engine voltage even though the wires isn't connected. And the reason behind that is this has got basically, even though it's 18 amps charger in it, it charges the leisure battery as well as charging up the vehicle battery. Now just to clarify on how many amps it is, I won't know until I've actually done this wiring. So once I put the connections on, I can actually do proper testing to actually see how many amps this will actually charge the vehicle compared with how many amps it charges the leisure battery and also run the system. Now from my previous experience, especially with these chargers, it's normally 16 amps that run the system, and then about 2 amps just to charge the vehicle. But I just want to confirm that once I've got all the bits, I just want to confirm that is the case, because I could be wrong. It could be sort of 17 amps running the leisure side and only an amp that is charging the vehicle. So the whole principle of understanding all of this wiring is, obviously I got to teach the technicians on, look, this is basically a motorhome, and if you want to know what the purple wire is, you just follow it. Oh look, the purple wire goes to this light switch here. Or what does the orange wire do? Well, actually that does the pump, and so on. So like I said, the whole purpose of this is trying to teach people on electrics in motorhomes. Now, if the powers that be will let me to do something else, say like a Swift or something, that would be great. But at this moment in time, it's just spare parts we had kicking around, and I thought, well, let's make something just to help teach other people. Well guys, I hope this has been an interesting sort of video. It's only a little quick one. And just for those people out there who don't believe that I actually built this thing, you want to check the floor. Yeah, even a box of cables. Just had to make sure I had the right wiring, because obviously you don't want to put all the red wires and all the blues and all that stuff, unless it's, you don't want to make it too confusing. But as long as it had the right wire in the right place with the right colour and everything else, that's what matters. So, on that note, it's getting pretty dark outside. I mean, yeah, it's coming up for 9 o'clock, so what can I say? Right, I'm going to leave it here. So, if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And just may, I might make another video. Take care, guys. See you soon.